Hold on. Let's see what's going on. Hello, everyone. Today is Friday, April 14th, 2023. It's tax time, y'all. Tax time. Tax day is what? It's not tomorrow because the weekend. I believe it's on Tuesday, the 18th. So I hope you all got your taxes done. But as always, I'd like to thank you all for joining me with real estate, real life, real talk, and I'm coming to you real live. And I always like to discuss with everyone the latest real estate trend, what's going on. And I always like to talk to people also about any topic that comes on my mind so I put it in the subject, but I'm going to be talking about true friendship. I'm going to be giving I'm going to be giving the current market updates, and also I'm going to be giving talking about true friendships and some safety tactics. So, let me begin in the wonderful world of real estate. So today I want to talk about the current market conditions. I'm always asked, is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? People always ask that question depending on what's going on in the media, what's going on in the economy. And people always want to know, is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? And I want to be honest with you, it's always a good time to buy. Understand this, people buy all the time for various reasons. People buy because they're moving, people buy because they go through divorce, people buy because they need more space, because they got new additions to their household, such as having babies. People buy for various reasons, despite the interest rate. Now, today, as of today, the interest rate is 6.98% today, which is slightly less than 7%. Now, we all know that in 2021, which was 2 years ago, the interest rate was historically low. The interest rate was at 2.9%. I just want people to be aware and to fully understand that that was a historically low interest rate, meaning that comes around once in a lifetime. So if you're waiting for interest rate to get that low again, you may never see it again, and you may be waiting forever. So I also wanted to go over what interest rate has been like in the past before. Like, for example, did you know in 1980 and 81 and 82 that the interest rate was 16%? 16%. And people were buying houses then. And people always buy houses despite what the interest rate is. Now, when people are focused on interest rate, I really don't want them to focus on that, because I want people to really focus on their affordability and what their monthly payments are, because that's the true basis. Like, for example, if you could, and when I say monthly payments, and the reason why I say that is because I've seen people who purchase a $900,000 house and their mortgage payments is in the 3,000s. And I've also seen people purchase the $500,000 house and their mortgage payments is in the 3,000. So if you could have your choice as far as how much home you will want, most people would choose getting that $900,000 home versus the $500,000 home. But it's the monthly mortgage payment is what is of the concern. Now, of course, there are different ways and strategy as far as getting payments to where they are and to getting them as low as possible. But I don't want people to focus on the interest rate, because when you focus on the interest rate, you lose sight on the equity that's built in a home when you purchase a house, which 9 times out of 10, the equity that's accumulates over time goes up much more than the interest rate does, and it supersedes the interest rate as far as what you pay. And then, second of all, you can always refinance your home if you get a home and it's an interest rate that you don't like. People refinance all the time, and you can always do that. So, understand that's today's interest rate. The current market as today is, did you all know that we're still in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area? We're still in a seller's market. And when I keep looking to the side for you all over there looking, it's because these people on my Instagram. So I have to channel my Instagram over here. So that's why I keep looking to the side. But just to say, so today we're still in a seller's market in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. And I would like to break this down as far as what is a seller's market, because people still don't know what a seller's market is versus what a buyer's market is. A buyer's market is characterized by slow home sales, lots of available properties, and declining home prices. That's a buyer's market. A seller's market is characterized by rapid home sales, shortage of available homes, and rising real estate prices. Now, with that, when they're talking about shortage of available homes, that means inventory. Now, what's going on in our area, even like last year and the year before, the inventory was kind of low. The inventory is still kind of low. That's what's keeping it currently a seller's market, because any of the better homes that come on the market, and if it is priced correctly, those houses are going quick. And in some cases, they're still having some multiple offers in certain situations. Now, there is some, leeway for buyers because of the fact that some sellers are giving closing cost help now compared to a year or two ago when they really weren't. So I just want you to keep that in mind, that we are currently in a seller's market in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Now, there are certain pockets in the area that home sales are moving extremely slow despite the condition of the home. There are certain pockets, but overall, we're still in that. And because we're also in the spring/summer market season, those things are occurring because most people know that once daylight saving time come and the days become longer, people tend to go out and look at homes after work, and it becomes a lot more competitive too, because a lot of people like to move before the school season of next year. So a lot of times they're getting themselves together for next school year. I mean, I've already spoken to some people who've already said that they want to be in the home for their college kids who got to go back at the end of July, beginning of August, and some people for just their kids who are in school in general. So a lot of people like to be situated before, excuse me, before Labor Day. So because of that, this it makes it competitive because so many people are dealing with the same situation. So on top of that, like I mentioned, with the shortage of inventory, and let's say one particular nice home comes available in the zip code that you prefer, and then you really want that house, a lot of times there are other people who want that same house for the same reasons. The school system, because of getting ready for the next school year. So please understand, currently we are in a seller's market, and the interest rate as of today, April 14th, is 6.98, which is not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad either. And it's still to the point where buyers are out here buying because of the affordability, because you have to understand there are numerous numbers involved in real estate. It's not just the interest rate. It's not just the cost of the home. You understand? It's also your monthly mortgage payments, also the total amount of closing costs and down payment you will have to bring. And then in many cases, if people are going through a program, it takes into consideration what they're going to be getting to assist them. So because of all these variable factors, these things play a huge role when it pertains to purchasing. And sometimes the opportunity for some is now, because you don't know what your opportunity is going to be tomorrow. So a lot of times you want to do today instead of waiting on tomorrow, because tomorrow is not promised, and nothing is promised for tomorrow. Nothing is guaranteed. So why wait? Today is always the best time. So again, when people ask me, is today, should I buy or sell now? Buy always, anytime. Selling, it varies. If people are looking to sell right now is a great time to sell, because as I just mentioned, the inventory is low. So especially if your house is in decent, fair, good condition, it's a great time to sell. Now, even if it's not in the best of condition, it's still a great time to sell. Because of that, sellers can offer, incentives to buyers if they put their house on the market and they don't fix it up. Some sellers sometimes think, oh, I need to fix this up, I need to fix that up. I know they have the new thing, Curio, that's going around trying to assist people with renovating their home, and then they possibly getting it back when they sell it. But you have to do the numbers. Again, if you're using a service like that, please take into consideration of how much they're going to charge you, and then also how much will it be if you sell based off the resale value. So because a lot of times the numbers may or may not add up, but you have to crunch those numbers, because just because you automatically get it renovated does not mean you're going to recuperate all the money that you spent into that going through certain companies and stuff. So a lot of times when you have a real estate professional as myself to come out to your property, take a look at it, to give their professional recommendations, it would normally tell you whether or not you should repairs or work and put into the home to get your house up to par in order to sell it for top dollar. But sometimes, in some cases, some sellers don't always have the resources or the money to do so, but they want to sell their property. And in this current market that we're in, it's a good time to do that, because there are many ways to strategically market your home in order to sell it, and to also get the sellers the profit that they're looking to get, while also giving the buyers a house of their choice. So I just want you all to please keep that in mind. So we are in a seller's market. Today's interest rate is 6.98%. And I want you all to understand that it is always a good time to purchase a home, regardless, because you gain equity over time when you buy a home. And a lot of times the equity goes up faster than the interest rate. So the interest rate is hovering around the sevens, been around that for a while. So if you bought a house, let's say last year, you've gained equity already to the point where, just really depends on crunching the numbers, where you live at, what home sales are going for, etc. But again, like I mentioned, a real estate professional such as myself can always crunch those numbers for you to tell you exactly what your house is worth. And if you're looking to buy, there are many deals, incentives, and there are also some programs out here to assist buyers with purchasing homes. So those are the current market conditions right now. So I'm going to come back and talk about true friendship and some safety tactics. 1 second. Thank you for coming back and joining me. So I wanted to talk briefly about true friendship. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I've seen several situations with people in which friendship is tested on so many levels, regardless of who you are, what race you are, what sex you are. And a lot of times people have these fallouts with their friends of many years because of petty situations, because of assumptions, because of misunderstandings, because of the lack of communication. And I think people really need to evaluate the friendships that you have. Sometimes some friendships are messy, some friendships are good, are healthy for each other. Some are, when I say messy, meaning like toxic. So I think that you need to evaluate your friends on the level of, are they there during the times when it's not so good? Meaning, like, throughout life, everyone's going to go through hardship. You're going to have good moments. You're going to have bad moments. You're going to have moments where you can't turn to anyone to depend on. You're going to have moments where you're down. You're going to have moments where you need some type of encouragement. If you always have friends who are always talking negative about everything and they can never give you any encouraging words, you need to question that friendship. If you have friends who are there doing the thick, but they're not there doing the thin, you need to question your friendship. If you have friends who are there doing the thin, but you know what I'm saying, always there regardless, and always there no matter what goes on in your life, and always there for you to listen to, you need to understand that you are blessed. Because here's the thing about friendship relationships, they're all similar to the point where communication is the key. Sometimes people fall out because of a misunderstanding, because of miscommunication. People make their own assumptions about things. And when they make their own assumptions about things, sometimes when there's no clarity, when people don't speak to the other person, they will assume that they are correct based off their own assumptions. In a way, it's a tad bit delusional, but unfortunately, there's a lot of people who do this. They'll make an assumption about certain things, certain people, speculate how things are, and then they'll run with their own assumption and believe that they are right, all because they never really spoke to the person to get clarity. I think a lot of times a good conversation will resolve a lot of misunderstanding. But I think that, you have to be willing to hold that conversation if you value the person's friendship. Now, when people don't value anything, they don't care about anything. And trust and believe, there's a lot of friendship, relationships, even situations in jobs and stuff where people don't value things. So a lot of times when it's people who don't value anything, you can't really hold any communication with those people because you're not going to get anywhere. It's like you're really talking to a wall. But only you know what you're dealing with. Sometimes you got to read the people that you are dealing with, and you have to treat everyone accordingly. No one treats two twins the same. And the reason why you don't treat them the same is because their personality is different. And the same thing applies to people. You don't treat friendships the same. You don't treat relationships the same. You treat them accordingly based off the person and their personality, their character, and who they are. So when you're doing that, evaluate situations because there are a lot of people who are having fallen outs of things because of the lack of communication, because of the misunderstanding, because of the poor assumption. Just because you might have been right 50% of the times with your assumptions don't make you right all of the time. Clarity comes from speaking to the other person. Clarity comes to in the form of getting a true understanding. Some people feel because they don't get a response that is a response. And it is a response, but you don't always necessarily know what that response is. Sometimes people don't speak because some people can't express themselves. Sometimes people don't speak because they don't know what to say. Sometimes people don't speak because they scared. Sometimes people don't speak because of the fact they might be fearful of how you're going to respond. So yes, no response is a response. But if you don't ever communicate, you'll never get the true clarity on that. So I'm just saying that to the point where people need to hold better conversations with people, especially people that you grew up with, and especially like family. It's unfortunate that nowadays families are not close like your parents and grandparents were. It's unfortunate that people are not close like they were when they were younger. And a lot of times it's out of misunderstanding. And don't get me wrong, in all of our families, we have people who don't have the same heart as you, who don't think like you. You always have all types of people that you deal with. You have the liars, you have the thief, you have the manipulators in your family. You got all types. Everyone has all types of people that they're dealing with. The people who don't take accountability, the people who are just lazy, the people who are successful, the people who strive to be better, I mean, and even with people who are striving to be better, they're trying to be better than they were yesterday with themselves, but they might have somebody in their family who might feel like that they think that they're better than everyone else. And that is not necessarily the case. Sometimes people just striving to be the best that they can be. And it has nothing to do with what's going on with they're striving to be the best that they can be. It has nothing to do with what's going on with, say, their family member, but their family member will view and look at them like, oh, he think he better. Why? Because he's trying to be better than he was last year. He's trying to be a better person. But because of their insecurity, they'll push it off on you sometimes. So sometimes you got to deal with people accordingly and know who you're dealing with. You can give people a certain amount of chances. You can give people, what I'm saying, the benefit of the doubt. But like I said, if people don't value you or value who you are or value the communication, then sometimes you have to understand it is what it is and you treat things accordingly. But I just think when it pertains to friendship, relationships and friendships can be with family members, we all need to do a self evaluation because like I said, even in my own personal situation, I don't have people in my family never hold conversations with me. And then I heard rumors that had spread within my family about me that I've never said because somebody installed it because they said he think. How do people know what I think if they never hold a conversation with me? And I just say that to say this goes on everywhere, you know, in many people's family, on many people's jobs, in many people's marriages and relationships because of the poor communication. And don't get me wrong, there's some people in your own family and even your friends and even your spouse that can be haters. They can be mad of the success that you get or mad because of the direction that you're going in. And they'll just find a way to negatively talk about you or negatively hate on you or won't even support you because of the fact of where you're going. But again, you have to know how to read the people you are dealing with. And if you don't know how to read the people you're dealing with, I can tell you what you do. Just don't say nothing and watch them. You will learn a lot just by watching. Sometimes you ain't got to say nothing. You just watch their behavior, watch what they have to say, just listen to them, and you'll learn over time. But just also understand there are some good people out here in the world. And sometimes you can find them on your job. You can find them at your church. You can find them, in various places, depending on where you go to. If you are in some type of groups on social media like Facebook, you can find them. There are some good people in the world, but also understand there's some genuine people and then also people who are not genuine. So please take the time to always read the people you are dealing with. You will learn a lot. And when it pertains to friendship, you have to also evaluate whether or not true friendship for years ago is it just worth like throwing away. And like I said, if you don't value anything, then of course you're not going to appreciate and understand what I'm saying. But to those who do understand what I'm saying, please take the time to evaluate. And I want to talk about safety real quick. And the reason why I want to talk about safety is because in the past week, there have been two situations where I know guys who, and one was in the 20s and another was in his 40s, close to 50, that their cars have been stolen. And the cars were stolen not because of carjacking or anything, because they pulled up, got out to run into a store or a place of business, and they left their car running. And when they came back, their cars were gone. I got a call today from a buddy of mine that I went to high school with, and he told me he went for a tropical smoothie or something. And when he came back out, his car was gone. And he said he left his car running. And I told him, you can't do that. People are watching you. And I say that to say that people are watching you. When you go to places and stuff, you may pull up somewhere. There have been plenty of times that I've been sitting in a parking lot on the phone conducting business, and I'll see cars pull up, people get out, drop things, do certain things. And the whole time I'm watching them, not one time have they even turned around to look at me. And it's probably happened to me as well, too. So what I'm saying to you, please be aware of your surroundings. When you go to places, I don't care how quickly you have to run in there, turn your car off, take your keys with you. The littlest mistakes is costing people. And also try to be aware of your surroundings because, like I said, there are people out here staring at people. There are people watching, plotting. Everyone is not in a situation like you financially. Everyone is not nice. Even though I just mentioned about there are some genuine people in the world, understand there are some people out here who trying to get what they can get from people at any cost. So please be aware of your surrounding. Pay attention when you go to the gas station. There are always people there watching, begging, looking. When you go to the grocery store, when you go to any shopping facility, please be aware of your surroundings because people are watching. Like JC used to say, the streets is watching, people are watching always. So please be aware of your surrounding because there's too much going on in the world today. Too much. It's way too much going on. We have to pray every day about everything, about our families, about ourselves, about just covering us in all ways. But please be mindful that when you're going to places, do not hop out, leave your key in the car. Like I said, one person went to get pizza, one person went to get a tropical drink. Both were males. They came out, car was gone. And like I told my buddy today, I said they probably took that to a chop shop, and because he wanted to drive around, go look for it. I'm like, you don't even know what direction they went in. So where you going? What you looking for? They didn't probably took it to a chop shop selling the parts. So please be mindful because it's the littlest things that's costing people big. So I just wanted to really touch on that safety aspect. Um, I want to do a recap, but before I do a recap, I wanted to say to everyone in the state of Maryland that Maryland has a Homestead Act in which it helps to reduce your property taxes. I actually mentioned this at my home buying seminar. Let me also thank everyone who came to my home buying seminar. But I mentioned this at my home buying seminar that if you're in Maryland, especially in Prince George's County, where taxes are extremely high, please understand the Maryland Homestead Act is to help reduce your taxes. Um, please apply. I just put the link right there. If not, Google Maryland Homestead Act. If you Google Maryland Homestead Act, you will basically see that you have to apply in order for them to reduce your taxes. Everyone doesn't apply and everyone doesn't know, but I just want to make it aware to you all, to each and every one of you, all, whether you're my client or not. I always believe in helping people. So please make sure that you look at what your taxes are, because in the state of Maryland, they're not as cheap as in the state of Virginia. So please look at your taxes and also apply for this Maryland Homestead Act. Google Maryland Homestead Act, and then you will basically be able to pull this up. It's a PDF. You fill it out. I believe it's a phone number on there for you to call, but I want you all to make sure that you put that in because, they're going up on everything except people's incomes. They're going up on taxes. They're going up on groceries. They're going up on gas. They're going up on everything. So, unless you got money growing on a tree in the back of your yard, many people need as many breaks as possible. And then also I wanted to mention that I'm giving each and every one who is interested. I just partner up with a financial wealth strategy company, and it is the way to I like to give my clients, as much information as far as maximizing their house, and also even if they're not in a house, just giving them ways or options to help them build wealth. So because I've just recently partnered up with this company, anyone who's interested in doing so, who wanted someone to give them a call to basically talk to them about what options they have as far as wealth strategy. If you go to my website, DamonTheAgent.com, and click on book a free consultation, I would definitely put you in contact with the appropriate people to make sure that you can maximize, your wealth in each and every way. We all want to enjoy this thing called life, and I'm here to try to help each and every one of you. So that's that. So go to my website, DamonTheAgent.com, click on book a free consultation, provide your information. Also put the reason why, if you're looking to sell, you're looking to buy, if you're looking for the wealth consultation, put it there and someone will get with you as soon as possible. So I'm going to do a quick recap. Okay, my quick recap is current market conditions. We are still in a seller's market, and the current interest rate is just below 7%. It's still a great time to buy. There are many ways to get you a home. You can get a home right now before the 4th of July and have that 4th of July cookouts. Just reach out to me. I'll definitely point you in the right direction. And, you'll be there cooking ribs, steak, chicken, or whatever. It can happen before the 4th of July, definitely before Labor Day. So, still a seller's market. Interest rate is under 7%, still a great time to buy. And then also when it pertains to friendship, true friendships go through thick and thin, regardless, just like relationships. You don't bail when the going gets tough. You know what I'm saying? You stick it out more. So many people in relationships and friendship bounce any sign of unhappiness, any sign of struggle. But guess what? It's the struggle that show you who people really are. It's when you're struggling that show you what you're dealing with. And to be truthful, any and everybody will stick around when times are good, when things are easy, when you're on top of the world. But it's only true friends and true family that stay around when things are not going well. You know, just want to point that out. And then also, when it pertains to safety, please be aware of your surrounding at all times wherever you go. Please do not leave your car running, when you're running into places, because there are people watching. People out here looking for opportunity. There are a lot of opportunists out here. So we want to make sure that they don't take advantage of you, me, or anyone else. So I just want you all to be aware of that. And don't forget the Homestead Act in the state of Maryland. Please Google Homestead Maryland Homestead Act in order to help reduce your taxes. I want each and every one of you to take advantage of that. And I want to thank you all for joining me each and every Friday at 12 noon, where I talk about real estate, real life, real talk, and real live. You know, thank you all for joining me. This is Damon the Agent, and you all have a great weekend. Don't forget to do your taxes, everyone. Do your taxes. It's due by Tuesday. Have a good one.